Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. Before I start this video, I just want to show you something really cool. Look at my shirt, it says, out of 10, I would say my Harry Potter knowledge is 9 3/4. My sister bought me this for, it was either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember, I think it was Christmas. And I love it, and I just wanted to show you that because it's amazing. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 books I want to reread. Now obviously all the Harry Potter books are on this list, as is Jane Eyre, Six of Crows, blah blah blah. But I'm talking about books I don't think previously mentioned I want to reread. So let's get started. So the first one is a bit of a controversial one, and I feel like people will either love or hate this answer. But the first one is Grey by E.L. James. Now I read 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Reread and 50 Shades Darker. Don't know which order they're in. I read them probably 2-3 years ago now, and I liked them. I didn't love them, but I loved this one. Now this is the first book. Is it just the first book? I think so. This is the first book of the trilogy from Christian's perspective. Now I know a lot of people are like, I hate it. I don't understand why you would bring out a book that was basically just the same again. However, I preferred this to the series because Anna Steele is one of the most annoying people in the world, and having a book from her perspective was irritating. This being from Christian's perspective, I loved a lot more. I really got behind him. I like his character anyway. I understand there are lots of issues, but I think his character is flawed, has problems, but is learning to deal with those. And to be honest, I just like him more than her. So I'm like, I'd rather read from his perspective. I want to reread it again because I think I read it not that long after I'd read the series, like the whole 50 Shades series. So I want to be able to kind of read it separately and sort of as if it's a different story, I guess, and kind of start again. If you don't know, this follows Christian Grey, who is a billionaire, and basically he meets this girl named Anastasia Steele one day, and it's their kind of, I'd say romance, but it's also, there's a lot of sexual darkness in this, let's put it that way. A lot of things that, that's all over my book. A lot of things which, like control and dominance and submission and stuff. So I find this very interesting. I really wanted to reread it, and yeah. The next one is another controversial one. I'm on a train today. This is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2, based on an original news story by J.K. Rowling, written by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne as a play. Now, when I read this book, I was like, oh, I don't like it. I think I gave it like a 2-star. And I still kind of feel like that, but I feel like I read this in the middle of the hype of the Harry Potter 8th book and everybody loving it. Like I read it as soon as it came out. And now I feel like maybe now it's all died down and people have said they love or they hate, and I've watched all the videos saying they love or they hate, and I kind of want to reread it just to make sure that I didn't just, like, my first impression wasn't just because I was like, I hate it, I don't want this isn't Harry Potter, this isn't written by J.K. Rowling. I want to read it and kind of see how I feel about it now. Also, I want to read all the other books, so I feel like that's an excuse for me to read the other books first and then read this. Does it work like that? I don't care. Yeah, this is the 8th book in the Harry Potter series. It's not the 8th book. It says the 8th story 19 years later, but it basically follows on from the epilogue in the Deathly Hallows book. I don't know what else to say about this other than, should I read it? Let me know in the comments below if you read it and loved it, because I kind of want to reread it again and find out what I think this time. Next up is one of my favourite books of all time, and of course I want to reread it because I love it so much. That is oh, there's stuff all over my book, it's gross. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Now Rainbow Rowell is the author that I kind of discovered in 2016 and loved her. I read Eleanor and Park, I read Carry On, and I read Fangirl. I also now own Attachments, and I have Landline out from the library right at this moment, so I'm really loving her books. I just feel like I really want to reread Fangirl because I feel like sometimes the first time you read a book you just don't get, like, you get the story obviously, but you kind of miss out on little things. So I feel like if I reread this I might be like, oh, I forgot that, or I didn't remember that, or I kind of missed that one, I guess. It's also good as well, I think, when you know the answer, like the solution or the end of a book, to go back and reread it, because then you can kind of see the clues that are happening as you go along. So I'm excited for this. As I said, I love Rainbow Rowell. I'm really, really looking forward to reading her other books, and so sometimes a bit of nostalgia is always good. Then I have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which I mentioned in my audiobooks video, which I don't know if it's gone up yet. It either has already or it's going to soon, whichever way round. I have the audiobook of this, so I want to listen to that. I love The Fault in Our Stars. Again, it's one of those books where I feel like I probably missed out on some of it because I read it so fast because I just wanted to read it and I was so excited to find out what happened. And also, obviously, it's very emotional, and I feel like the second time I read it, hopefully, it won't be quite as emotional because I know what's coming. So I feel like I might pick up on things I missed. Either way, it's a great book and I'd love to reread it and kind of get that story again. Also, I've still not seen the film, so what I kind of want to do is reread this and then watch the film. That's like a little task for me. Then the last one is one I'm probably going to regret saying, but I read this book 2 years ago and it's huge. It's literally massive. And I loved it, but it was massive, and but I wasn't really into reading so much at the time. Like, I'd kind of gone on a bit of a, I guess, like a slump, but basically I just didn't read for about 3 years when I was at uni, and then I came out of, so this was kind of when I was reading this, so it took me like 3 months to read, whereas I don't feel like it would take me that long now. I've also just recently watched the musical of this, so I kind of really want to reread it again. This is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. It is 1,200 pages long, so oh my god, this is mad. But I love the story of this. I love the musical. I really, really enjoyed it. I watched it with my boyfriend who also, I think, really enjoyed it too. I also sobbed like a small child at the end. Like, I was like, oh no, this won't make me cry. Like, I know what's coming. I know what's going to happen. And then I was sat on the sofa with my boyfriend and we were watching it, and he just looked over at me and I was just like, oh, just thinking about it. Oh my god. Emotional. Anyway, I really, really want to reread this because, like I said, again, it's one of those ones that I feel like I missed bits, and it's so massive, and because I read it over such a long period of time, I feel like by the time I got to the end I'd kind of forgotten the beginning, so I do really want to get this read again. I don't know when that will be though, because I mean, that's a bit of a task, isn't it? So that is the 5 books that I would like to reread the most. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and if you like to reread them, or which books you do want to reread, because I'm sure there are more out there. And give me a thumbs up if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye guys.